I guess on my hair, she look all right. And with that actually sitting there like this creams, and I had to have them, sis. All 5 of them. Here, I just had, we're gonna discontinue it, but I had to pick up their book of shadows, honey. Color grade makes cheap fan, expensive breeze, good times. Why so serious? What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Torrence here, and in today's video, I'm bringing you my purple look of the month. You all know every month I do a purple look for my friend Lorraine because we are here for you, Lorraine, and I'll make sure I leave that playlist up here so you all can check every look that I've done for her so far. But I was sitting back thinking to myself like, okay, you know you had to do a purple, and I did not tell you all about which palette I was going to use. Am I use it or lose it? But then I remembered. Torrence, you did your very first purple look for Lorraine using blendbunnycosmetics. Why not keep the trend going? And so today we are playing with the Surge palette. And honey, get into this. Out of all of the palettes they've ever dropped, this was the one that caught my heart the most. Even though she may not have been the first purchased, I was sitting back looking at her like, oh my goodness. Look at this dark, grungy, beautiful color story. No lie, the greens in this row is what caught my eye at first, and we will play with those later on, but I had to get into these, play with these purples, and also bring in a few of these pinks just to see what they're like. So if you all would like to know my honest opinions on this palette, you're gonna have to wait to the end of this tutorial. But if you want to know how to achieve this gorgeous look, just wait till after swatches. First off, let's get into this gorgeous packaging. Blend Bunny got me scared to use this palette because I'm like, honey, this look like a dark alley. It don't look like it's safe to travel down there. But you all know I love really dark eyeshadows, so I'm excited to see how these colors are going to perform. But baby, let's open this up and see what those colors look like on the inside. And look at that, honey. She is fabulous. 30 beautiful shades. This palette contains 24 mattes and 6 shimmers. The ratio is unbelievable. We got a matte white, we have transition shades, we have crease shades, we have outer V shades, and we even have an entire bottom row of, it looks like neon pigment shades. I'm not sure, but you know I'm excited to see what they're gonna look like. And because it's 30 shades, I think we're gonna have to swatch 3 different sets of 10s, so let's go ahead and get into it. First up, columns 1 and 2. And baby, I was not expecting this shade range. I could tell columns 1 had a matte white and a matte black, but that middle shade, I wasn't sure if it was green or gray, and the fact that she green has me truly excited. And look at the pigmentation and shine on shade number 9, honey. She gorgeous. So let's go ahead and get into columns 3 and 4. Let's get into columns 3 and 4, honey. They are stunning, and I'm quite sure women are gonna love these 2 columns even more than the others. They are giving berry vibes. They are giving fairy vibes, honey. They are gorgeous. They are sweet. They are soft, except those purples. But I know y'all gonna love those. So let's go ahead and see what columns 5 and 6 have to offer. Honey, and last but certainly not least, we have columns 5 and 6. And you all know, I always do my swatches one time over, no primer, but I gotta let you know about shade number 4. I did that with my thumb, which is why she's so wide. But shade number 10 was swatched twice. That's that neon green shade. I thought that maybe I didn't put my full finger down or anything, but she is a neon looking pigment, so she was lighter in color. So I did do that twice. You can see on the left side, she's a little more pigmented than the right side. It was just to make sure my eyes wasn't playing tricks on me. So that one shade was swatched twice, but green's my favorite. So baby, we're gonna make an exception this one time for my favorite color. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get things started. As with all tutorials, any and all tools and products that I use will always be in the description bar below. So if I ever forget to mention anything, make sure you check out there. Also, baby, I'm telling you all, I am so excited. Like, this packaging, first of all, has been my favorite from Blend Bunny since they started. It's just, I never got around to using this palette, and it's like, baby, today is the day, today is the day. And I'm sitting back like, you know, greens are your favorites, but you'll always get a chance to play with grades off cameras. What I want to do today, because I think you all really enjoy it, is try to get some of these these middle two rows going, because I know for sure I want to do a purple look today. The thing is, because I got a pink look coming up and pinks ain't my favorites, I might start off by dipping over into some of these pink shades just to see what we got going. So, just because I know I want to be over the top today, it's like, Torrence, we're going to do that. We're going to start off with our largest, fluffiest blending brush. And for transition, we're going to go over the top. We're going to start right here. For the front half, we're going to use Charged. And for the outer half, we're going to use this shade here, Pulse. They are really bright, vivid shades. Really bright shades, really vivid neon shades. And I want to see what they look like on the lids. So let's get into it. I got to remind myself that one side of my brush is flat because I laid her down the wrong way. So we're going to tap off this excess because we can always come back in for more. And we just going to buff this out in the front half just to see what she looked like right there, sis. Ooh, she looked rather soft, but I know y'all can see that on camera right there. You know, I love when a transition shade let me know what I can expect. And to know that I went in very lightly, she's blending out really quickly. I don't want to take this too far. I want to make sure we can go in and see how well she builds. And baby, that look beautiful. You see how she building up in pigmentation right before your eyes, honey? I ain't went back in again or nothing. I'm just sitting here making sure she builds and blends. And she fabulous. I just want to see how that pigmentation gonna come off. So we gonna knock off our excess and just double check to see if I wanted to go even harder, could I? Yep, I can already see that. I don't even gotta look up and look in camera for y'all. Do you see the pigmentation on this shade? I am loving her. We're gonna diffuse her up as high as we can. I don't want her to necessarily touch the brow, but I wouldn't be mad at her for doing so today with this look, because we're trying to get everything going ham. Oh yes, ma'am. And baby, they ain't twins, but they sisters, and that's close enough for me. So now I got this shade Pulse on here. Definitely gonna tap her off, because if that pink came through, we're not gonna risk it with this purple. And I want to remind myself this is a transition shade, so we're gonna tap her one more again. Gonna start on the outer end as low as we possibly can, because we want to make sure we build up to that pink. And baby, tap your brush off with this shade, because she is pigmented. And you see, I want to work slowly because I could have covered up that pink in the beginning. Keep our brush rather low. We want to make sure we get off all the color, then you start to raise her up. And because this color is so pigmented, honey, I don't see me doing a second layer of this. We're going to have to just buff her out and be careful with it. So with this shade, don't go in heavy like I did and try to tap her off. Go in very lightly and still tap her off, because she is pigmented. And you see, now we're going to raise my brush and diffuse those edges like this, because I'm scared to go in twice. We want the transition to be nice and soft and feminine and blended and cute and fairy-like. And you see, I'm slowly but surely bringing my brush up closer to that center to help bring that purple in, but I don't want to cover her up. And look at that already, baby. That pink and purple is coming through like bubblegum vibes. I'm just spending all the time I can with this transition part, making sure she's soft. These neon shades didn't come to play, baby. A lot of times, they don't have no pigmentation on them. But I know y'all see that. And I'm loving the fact you can see the different tones and colors on that. You can see that's pink and purple right there. Baby, we got some pigmentation going on, but I got hooded lids and I need something deeper for my crease. So I'm gonna simplify things for myself this time, and we're gonna go into this shade here, Stay. Baby, Rihanna got a song called Stay, so I had to test this one out. We're gonna use a slightly smaller blending brush and deepen up our crease with that. Won't set me up for the fail, honey. We're gonna tap off our excess because we already know what to expect. So we're gonna start off low in the crease, and I know this brush got a flat end too. We gotta make sure we pay attention to that. Outer end, low in the crease, and we're gonna take this all the way through. Buff her in and out. I want to make sure she gonna deepen things up. And I know you can already see that there. Yes, ma'am. We're gonna go in with 2 layers with this because it looked like she's light enough to do so. I just wanted to make sure I could see a difference because I'm like, baby, ain't no point in adding all these extra shades if they don't do no extra work. And I want to start off slow, build and buff her out. And you want to keep this brush rather low because you do not want to cover that pink in the front. I want that to peek through a little bit because I want the inner half to be lighter than the outer half on this eye look today. I'm going to slightly raise it just to diffuse those edges. Not too much though. Then we're going to go in and do 1 more layer. Once again, tap off that excess, sis. Build and buff her up. Yes, ma'am. Telling you, I love a purple look. It's crazy because usually if you get hit in the eye, it be all blue, purple, and black. I don't ever want to look like I get hit in the eye, but the colors that they make, yes, ma'am. I'll softly blend this out and look at how vivid this is coming off, sis. You can't tell me my crease on the other side is not already waiting in anticipation. Like, honey, give me some of that. I want to just make sure the front half will blend it, and that'll get her going. And baby, if we gonna go for a purple look, I want it to be as dark, as deep, as jewel toned as I can possibly get it. So I need me an even smaller brush, and this dark shade here, Covet. I want to make sure she gonna build up, add a little more depth and dimension, and the only way I'm gonna find out is to use her. So let's get into it. Ooh-wee, baby, accidentally picked up way too much. Start off on the outer end with this brush, and we're gonna pack her. We're gonna work real slow. Okay, yes ma'am, you see that. And for this, we're gonna keep her only on the outer half. Simply because we started that pink off on the inner half and she's supposed to be a little lighter. We're gonna make sure this outer half is really, really dark. I don't wanna cover the entire outer V, but I do wanna cover the outer half of my crease. And you see I'm slowly diffusing that line and just slowly bringing my brush up closer to the center half. I mean the center point right here, because I only want to cover up half. But I don't want to start whisking my brush around too fast and carry that product up too far. So I'm just slowly building, slowly blending up, and once I get there, I can come on back, start to diffuse that line in the crease by raising my brush slightly higher. I'm not going to do 2 layers of this because we do not want this color to take over. The more we add with this tiny brush in this deep color, the harder it's going to be to diffuse things. And it won't take much to be able to tell that this outer half is much darker than that inner half. Alright you guys, that's all we about to do on these lids. Once again, they only got to be sisters. They don't have to be twins. And I'm trying to squeeze out every drop I can get out this NYX glitter primer. She ain't done yet, but we're going to make sure we get through with her. And we're going to hold back today because yesterday I put down a little bit too much. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to cut our entire lid front to back. I'm not really worried about precision or anything. I just want to make sure my lids are prepped for shimmers. Just swiping it all the way on. I always have to remind myself out loud to make sure you get close to the lashes because I forget that part and leave a gap. And once I have that, I'm just rocking this brush back and forth, pushing it as far in the crease as it'll go, and just going back and forth, making sure all areas are covered. And that should be it right there. Smooth that out and keep her moving. And baby, this is a purple look. How are we gonna do this without a purple shimmer? So I'm gonna go into this shade here, Euphoric, and we're gonna put this across our entire lid because I wanna see how shimmery she is. Okay, now I have some product here on my natural hair brush, but seriously, I think she might apply better with a silicone applicator. So we're gonna try both methods. We're gonna try this one off first, and we're just gonna pack her on. And she looks gorgeous, honey. That color is beautiful. The thing is, I don't see me getting full opacity with this one layer. So we're gonna pick up some more. And we're gonna try to see what color we get here. And on the other side, we'll use the silicone applicator and see what she's doing. Okay. Now, I ain't gonna lie, me personally, I would have preferred just a slightly deeper purple, but I guess every purple can't be the same tone, honey. You got to have a variation. And she gorgeous, you see her on camera. But what we're gonna do is try her on the other side, and I'll be right back. Okay, and now we on the other side, we're just gonna see what she look like. Looks like the pigmentation is about the same. It's just, it looks like you can get one layer with a silicone applicator or two with a brush. So if you're more comfortable with a brush, I say stick with it and do 2 layers over here. But if you don't mind a silicone applicator, use that and get it done with 1 layer. But we're just gonna jump cut and finish both eyes. Alright you guys, this is all we're going to do for the lids right now. I'm going to cut away, finish off the face, and when I come back, I'm going to show you how we're going to finish off the lower lash line. See, this is the part that be having me confused. I'm telling you, off camera, I did finish my face. All tools and products will be in the description bar below. But basically, I did the exact same makeup off camera that I did in my last tutorial. That was my makeup palette, my customized makeup palette from MakeupByTorrence. I'll leave that linked up here above. The thing is, in that last tutorial, I tried out the new Juvia's Place Radiant Foundation. That was in the shade 515 Bombay. This shade is way, way too light for me. The undertone is nice, but there is no way I could ever wear this on its own. I had to go in and make sure I did my contour and everything, but I was able to make it work. And I kept telling myself, yeah, there's no way to use her by herself. She's always gonna need some work. So Torrence, go pick up a darker shade. Went to Ulta yesterday, picked up this shade, 430 Rio. It said tan skin, golden undertone. So I'm like, okay, we can work with that. In the bottle, she looked good, but they didn't have any testers. So I just brought her home, used her. The thing is, she right there in the shade range, tan skin, she's good. The problem is, when they say golden yellow undertone, this is so yellow, so golden, that in the beginning, all I kept saying is, Torrence, this looks like jaundice. This is way, 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 way too yellow, way too golden. Did my makeup, finished everything up, and the only thing I kept saying is, do your makeup exactly like you did last time so you don't have anything playing tricks on you. You don't want to switch up your blush, things look a little more shimmery or something like that. Do the exact same routine. And I can honestly say, like, after everything's said and done, this looks way, way more natural now. Like, I can honestly say this looks much more like skin than that original one, but just because I know you all want a tutorial on this, that's probably going to be my very next tutorial. I just really want to see what that shade 435 looks like. I have to drive past, I believe, 2 Ultas tomorrow when I go run errands. And because 430 says warm with a golden undertone and 435 says neutral with a golden undertone, I'm wondering if 435 will be like basically this shade with a little less yellow in it. And if so, then I know 435 will be my perfect shade. If not, I guess I can make this work. But in my tutorial, I'll probably mix these two just to see what they are like. But I'm going to get that 435, test her out as well, see what's going on. Then we'll go from there. But everything else was the same. The only thing I did switch up, where'd she go? Now I'm like, how did you lose her? You ain't been nowhere. My lower lash line, because in my last tutorial I used a brown eyeliner from Urban Decay. I'm like, Torrence, you want to keep this purple, so I am wearing this shade here, Voodoo. And the thing is, I think I'm going to be able to declutter and give this to a friend, because I only have 3 purple eyeliners from Urban Decay, and one is much lighter than this, one is slightly darker than this, and it's like, you love psychedelic, sister, but I did not want to use that every single time. And it's like, if I don't have much room in my drawer anymore and I want to condense it to my favorites, like 2, maybe 3 of each color besides green. You know, I don't mind having too many of those. It's like, do I really need this one in the middle? I don't think so. And it's to the point where I realize, even though she was purchased as a mini, I've still never sharpened her. So it's like, how much could you love her if you don't use her? With my psychedelic sister, I buy this in full size and I know I can run through her every year. And when you look at the size comparison, to know that this is a repurchase, maybe 3-4 times over, it's like I could give this to a friend who will actually use it. And once they realize they like the formula, if they want to go back and get a permanent shade like Psychedelic Sister, they can do so. But there's no reason for me to hold on to that. I can put that over there with a couple of, I can put that over there with a couple other eyeliners that I'm going to declutter. But what else? Is there anything I wanted to mention? Oh, these lips once again. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just really loving it. But you all know, I do not do plumping lip glosses. I think they are extremely painful. Everyone I've ever tried hurt, except this Fenty Glow one. Oh my goodness. The first time I tried her, I'm not gonna lie, I was doing the most. I'm like, hold on, this burn, this itch, blah, blah, blah. But I gave it a few seconds and I realized it's a very slight sensation. Do I feel it today? Yes. But considering the fact I dipped my wand 3 times just because I got some huge, big old fat old DSLs, honey, and I love my lips to be an attention seeker. But I'm like, if you're not going to be wearing purple and you're going to be wearing this neutral color, you need something that's going to stand out as loud as the lips. So baby, I got her on again today and I'm here to tell you, I think this thing might actually be plumping because the way my lips look so smooth and so full on camera, I kept saying I'm not going to buy no more. I really don't need no more. And I'm trying to convince myself, Torrence, you should be able to use this up. But I ain't going to lie to y'all. If they come out with a clear one, that's all we're going to say is if they come out with a clear one, we're going to leave it at that. But we need to go ahead and finish off the face because I'm like, Torrence, that lower lash line looking rather bare. You need to go ahead and add a little more drama to this. So let's go ahead and finish things up. For me, I find that the lower lash line builds up pigmentation a lot faster than the top. So we're going to be soft and subtle, but still vivid. So I'm going to take my larger pencil brush and this shade here, Charge. We're going to go first with that. Then we're going to deepen things up with a smaller pencil brush and this shade here, Pulse. After we get through with that, I'll take a push liner brush and depending on how much depth I want, we'll decide if we go with the shade Stay or Covet. More than likely, I'm going to go with Stay because, you know, Rihanna got that song Stay and I got these lips going on by her and we want this look to stay all day. But we're not going to choose the push liner shade till we get to that step. And remember, these colors are pigmented. You want to tap your brush off, sis. And we're going to start on the outer end. We'll make sure I get this wide-eyed and going because I want to go slow. This color was pigmented. And since we're going to take it all the way through, we can start on the outer end. Push and build slow, sis. I know I just said I'm going to start from the outer end, but I keep trying to work back and forth. Because I don't want all that pigment to be stopped in one area. And now I ain't afraid to buff. And because we did go in and knock our brush off so hard, I honestly feel as if I could do 2 layers down here just to see what that pigmentation gonna be like. We're gonna try it just to see. And we're gonna start from the inner half this time. Yes, ma'am, see? That second layer is what really does it. I love a buildable shade. Because I want this pink to stand out on its own. Even though we're going to cover most of it, I still want that hue to come through. Oh yeah, y'all can see that pink on camera. I'm loving that. Now this push liner brush may be tiny, but remember this purple is pigmented. So the shade Pulse, don't tap you off, sis. You ain't about to ruin this look for me. You know what? One more in. And we're going to start from the outer end, work our way slow. And we want to keep it close to the lashes because we want this purple to shine, but we don't want that purple to be erased. I mean that pink. Ooh. Yes, ma'am, this one layer of this purple did not come to play. I think the only reason I may need to do a second layer is because this brush is just so itty bitty tiny and I have huge eyes. So we're gonna have to go in just a tiny bit to make sure we can carry it all the way to the front. Yes, ma'am, look at that. Because I'm loving the drama we already have and I don't want this to be doing too much, we're gonna go with that lighter shade Stay on this push liner brush and we're gonna use that because the color Covet might be a little too much for this look. And we're gonna start on the outer end and we're gonna push this, and you know what, we might only keep this on the outer half just to make sure that the outer end is darker than the inner half. Connect it up to the top. Yes, ma'am. And plus with this brush being so tiny, we would have had to double dip to get everything. And because I don't feel like doing that today, we're going to keep that on the outer end and make sure it's more drama out here than it is on the inside, because I got a surprise for that. Baby, now we get into my favorite part of eyeshadow, highlighting my inner corners and my brows. The thing is, I understand the brush I like to use works best with shimmery shades because I love a shimmery inner corner highlight and a brow bone highlight. Most of the world like it matte, and I'm not mad at that. The thing is, I'm not sure how these colors gonna show up. So because I believe this shade here is so dark, she's called All Mine, I want to put something else down first. So we're gonna go to matte shades before we go to shimmers. For the inner corner, I'm going to go to this shade here, White Hot. And for the brows, because we're doing something nice and pink, I'm going to go to this shade here, Cheeks. I'm going to start off with my shimmery brush just to see. If that don't work, I will switch over to the brush that normally works better with mattes. But I'm being lazy right now. Ain't no point in lying to y'all. First off, can we get into the fact that, boom, this white picked up probably easier than any other. I was not expecting this shade to do that. It's a matter of how pigmented she gonna be though. But the fact that she picked up this good got me excited. So we're gonna put this down first. And it feels weird to be putting a matte color as a inner corner. Ooh. Baby, y'all can see that? Oh my goodness. Let's take that up some more. Baby, you see how we had purple right there? And this white just came through and said, purple what? I don't think we need that pink shade on the inner corner because I think she gonna get the job done. Let's keep going. Baby, that pink shade Cheeks did the same thing, picked up easily. Picked up easily. So because I'm not sure how pink she gonna be, we gonna tap off that excess. We can always come back in for a little bit more, and we just gonna get this going over here because you see my natural yellow is coming through, but we need something that accentuate this pinky purple look. So we gonna, yes ma'am. I know y'all see that. I'm gonna bring it a little bit to the front and then start to diffuse it down to soften up the edges of this look here. Yes ma'am, look at that pink brow bone highlight. Oh my goodness, she is gorgeous. I'm loving, I've never done a matte brow bone highlight before, you all. I know it's standard, well no, not me. It's not that I've never worn one, I've never done one on myself. My friend used to do them on me all the time, but I like a shimmer up there and this is stunning. Alright you guys, this is all we're going to do for the face today, but there's no point in putting in all this work unless we're going to lock it in. So grab your setting sprays, because you know I'm about to grab mine. And you all know the routine, let's get into it. Fix Plus to give us a glowy do. All nighter so things will last all day. Cheap fan, expensive breeze, good times. I'm going to give this a few more moments to dry and I'll be back to give you all my final thoughts. And here's the final look. I want to go ahead and give you all a full face view of things before I give you all my final thoughts. And I'm here to tell you all, If you've been trying to figure out, do I need this palette? Should I get this palette? Is it worth it? I really think so, honey. I think this palette looks fabulous. I keep looking down at my eyes like... So, you already know. I'm the type where I don't consider any palette perfect unless you create it yourself. I always think it's that one or two things that they could tweak about it to make it that way. So if you want to know my opinions on what could be changed about this palette, let's get into it. First off, for pros, packaging. Out of all of the Blend Bunny palettes that I have so far, I think I have 5 of them, if not 6. This one is my favorite. I'm telling y'all, this looks dark. She looks dangerous. It looks like, I've already told people, it looks like a dark alley. Like, I don't know if I should be in this neighborhood. I don't know if I should be over there. But once I open her up and find out these are the type of colors I can work with, yeah, we're going to risk the danger, honey. I ain't moving to the suburbs. I'm moving to the hood because I want to see what all of these colors are about. Then you get into it and it's like, okay, we have what? 30 shades. I know a lot of people aren't big on rainbow palettes or big palettes. Me personally, I love them. The more options I have, the better. Especially when you have a palette this thin. She's not taking up a whole bunch of space all over the place. But what's even better for me, another pro, the matte to shimmer ratio. You have 24 mattes in this palette. 24 mattes, and as someone with hooded lids, I'm always trying to build up my crease. I like to have variants of shades. A lot of companies will give you probably this top row, that bottom row, if you get that bottom row. A lot of them, you only gonna get this middle row because they don't understand. A lot of deeper complexions and a lot of people with hooded lids need this deep dark row to give us definition. We like outer V shades. We like lower crease shades. People with deeper complexions just want a crease shade. So you have those. But to know you came down here to the bottom and gave us these bold, vivid, over the top, pigmented, and blendable shades. Baby, y'all know y'all was wrong. The 2 cons that I'ma personally say that I see in this palette, because you know I'm gonna keep it honest no matter how much I love a brand owner, or a palette. The 2 cons I see is, one, because I'm the type who genuinely prefers using brushes. Although I did trip and crack my middle nail here, you see all my other nails are rather long, so trying to get my finger in here, can I do it? Yes. Do I want to? No. So I'm the type where I like natural hair brushes. I like to just use those and get it going, and I feel as if to get full pigmentation and opacity on the lids, with a natural hair brush, you are going to have to do 2 layers. I don't see you getting full opacity with 1 layer. But if you use your finger or a silicone applicator, you will be able to do that with these. So because I'm at home, because, you know, I'm not racing or working on clients or anything like that, doing 2 layers on myself is no problem. It gives me a chance to build, it gives me a chance to blend, and so I like that. But if you're somebody who likes to race, get things done, when it comes to these shimmers, either use your finger or a silicone applicator, or they may not be the best for you. The only other con I could see, me personally, I don't care about it, but I know a lot of you do. This palette does not contain a mirror, but I don't use the mirrors in my palettes. I know a lot of people, they do their makeup while they're traveling, they do their makeup, and they may just be literally sitting here doing this. When they do their makeup, it's the palette and it's like this. And I get you, sis, I understand that. It's just, as someone who has a history of depotting palettes, a mirror doesn't matter to me because I look at it as, while I'm trying to pull and break and pull stuff out, the last thing I need is glass getting in my way. So whenever I use a mirror, you see, I got my little cute Jessica Rabbit mirror right here. I don't mind using the itty bitty mirror right here while I'm on camera and blending and doing this because the mirror won't get in the way. And it just reminds me of the days of first watching Nikki tutorials do her makeup with an itty bitty mirror. And it just brings me nostalgia. So that's the way I like to do it. But if you were to say, Torrence, do you recommend this palette? Absolutely, absolutely. And I can't even wait to get into these greens. Y'all know greens are my favorites, and those are the shades I haven't touched yet. But the shade I'm gonna have to let y'all know straight up off rip shocked me the most. That matte white hot, fabulous, honey. She fabulous. There is no reason why I was able to go in, blend out that purple all the way into the inner corner, and then just go in with that matte white and cover it. Like, that matte white is pigmented. She is there. She is to be seen. So it got me wondering, like, I wonder how you're gonna work in other looks. Like, can I mix you with other shades to truly blend and buff them out? Because you see how I was able to soften up that brow bone highlight, my crease here with that brow bone highlight, and I'm like, Torrence, she's shining. She's giving, not necessarily shiny as in shiny, but she's shining as in appearance. Like, you can see her, because I'm huge on shimmery inner corner and brow bone highlights. And I think this may be my very first tutorial where I've worn a matte one. So I'm loving her, and I know everybody else will. So I'm trying to sit back, like, is there anything else you need to do? I don't think so. I know I'm going to be making sure that the next tutorial I bring you all should be my Juvia's Place foundation one. So as soon as I cut this camera off, that's what I'm running to go do, is try to get shade match with 435. If I like that one, I'll do the tutorial with that. If not, I'll just mix these two and let you know how I feel about having to do that. But other than that, I think we're done here. So I truly hope you all did enjoy this tutorial. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, leave me a comment down below if you have this palette or any palette from Blend Bunny Cosmetics. Remember, I will be trying to get all of their palettes tutorial up. I do have them all except the newest one that is coming out. It is called Lure. She will be dropping this Friday, and I will be able to pick that up thanks to a generous gift from a friend. He was able to cash at me the other day when I posted I think my Use It or Lose It. I posted that. He saw the video, left a comment, sent the cash up, so I'm like, so when that Lure palette comes, I will be able to pick that up. I am going to do that as a dedicated video to him. I want to check in with him and make sure it's okay if I use his name in videos, because I understand just because I'm online and I put myself out there does not mean that the people who interact with me want to. So I don't want to just risk being disrespectful and saying anyone's name without their permission. So if he gives me permission to do so, you all will hear about that when the Lure palette comes. Also, make sure you all leave a very positive and beautiful message in the comment section down below for my friend Lorraine. You all know, each and every month I try to do a purple look for her to remind her you are loved, you are supported, and we are here for you, Lorraine. And when I step out to Ulta today, they gonna see this and they gonna be loving it too. So I've been talking long enough. I need to get this done because I also have a live chat with you all tonight. So with nothing else, I hope you all remember to practice, continue to stay blessed, and until next time, goodbye, YouTube.